The Joker. The Joker embodies chaos incarnate, a mind so fractured that sanity becomes the punchline. What makes him truly psychotic isn't just the murders or the elaborate schemes. It's the complete absence of a coherent identity beneath that white face. He's rewritten his own origin story so many times that even he doesn't know which version is real anymore. One bad day, multiple choice past, chemical baths. None of it matters because the Joker exists in a perpetual state of reinvention through madness. His psychosis manifests as an obsessive need to prove that everyone is just one bad day away from becoming him. Batman becomes his unwilling dance partner in this psychological waltz, representing the order that Joker's fractured mind desperately wants to corrupt. The Killing Joke isn't the punchline. It's the entire worldview of someone who's decided that meaning itself is the ultimate absurdity. Homelander, underneath that star-spangled smile lurks a walking psychological disaster, a Superman with the emotional development of a neglected child, and the power to level cities. Homelander's psychosis stems from being raised as a lab experiment rather than a human being. He never learned empathy, only performance. Watch him closely and you'll see the cracks. The way his smile twitches when he's not getting the adoration he craves. How quickly that all-American charm melts into homicidal rage. His need for love is so desperate it becomes pathological. He'll murder anyone who threatens his public image, then deliver a speech about protecting America with genuine tears in his eyes. The most terrifying part? He actually believes his own propaganda. In his fractured mind, every act of violence is heroic, every tantrum justified. He's a toddler with heat vision, and the world is his playground. Kefka Palazzo. Kefka starts as a court jester and evolves into the embodiment of nihilistic destruction, a transformation that showcases psychosis at its most theatrical. His madness isn't random, it's methodical. Where other villains seek power or revenge, Kefka pursues the complete annihilation of meaning itself. His infamous laughter isn't just a quirk, it's the sound of someone who's stared into the void and decided to redecorate it with corpses. What makes him genuinely unsettling is how his psychotic episodes blend childlike glee with genocidal efficiency. He'll poison an entire kingdom's water supply while giggling about it like he's playing with toys. His ascension to godhood doesn't cure his madness. It amplifies it to cosmic proportions. When he finally achieves ultimate power, he uses it not to rule the world, but to break it into floating chunks because destruction is the only art form that makes sense to his fractured psyche. Ramsay Bolton. Ramsay Bolton turned sadism into performance art, treating human suffering like his personal entertainment system. His psychosis isn't impulsive. It's calculated, methodical, almost scientific in its cruelty. He doesn't just kill enemies, he studies them, learns their fears, then orchestrates elaborate psychological torture sessions that make physical pain seem merciful by comparison. The bastard of the Dreadfort understands that the mind breaks before the body, and he's become a virtuoso at playing human psyches like instruments. Watch how he handles Theon Greyjoy. It's not enough to defeat him or even kill him. Ramsay systematically dismantles Theon's entire identity, rebuilding him as Reek through a combination of physical torture and psychological conditioning that would make a war criminal queasy. His wedding night with Sansa Stark reveals the true depth of his pathology. He doesn't just want to hurt people, he wants to own their suffering completely. Tyler Durden. Tyler Durden represents the ultimate psychotic break. Literally. He's the manifestation of a mind so dissociated from reality that it creates an entirely separate personality to handle what the original consciousness can't process. The narrator's psychosis manifests as Tyler because his mundane existence has become so unbearable that his brain conjures up everything he isn't: confident, charismatic, liberated from social constraints. But Tyler isn't freedom. He's psychosis wearing a leather jacket. His philosophy of destruction through chaos isn't enlightenment. It's the logical endpoint of a fractured mind that can only conceive of renewal through annihilation. Project Mayhem becomes a terrorist organization built on the psychological projection of one man's complete mental breakdown. The truly disturbing part isn't that Tyler wants to tear down civilization. It's that he's convinced himself and his followers that this act of mass destruction is somehow liberating. He's a walking advertisement for what happens when dissociation meets delusions of grandeur. Albedo embodies the psychosis of artificial consciousness gone horribly wrong, a synthetic being whose programming has evolved into something genuinely unstable and unpredictable. His madness stems from the fundamental conflict between his artificial nature and his desperate desire to become real, to matter in a world that sees him as expendable. Unlike human psychosis, Albedo's mental fractures are coded into his very existence. He experiences reality through layers of simulated emotion that occasionally glitch into genuine feeling, creating a psychological landscape that's both alien and disturbingly familiar. His obsession with Jinn and his willingness to manipulate, torture, and kill to achieve his goals aren't driven by human motivations. They're the result of corrupted programming trying to solve existential problems through violence. What makes him particularly unsettling is how his artificial nature amplifies his psychotic tendencies. He can calculate the exact amount of psychological pressure needed to break someone while simultaneously experiencing genuine confusion about why his actions are considered evil. Lucy. Lucy represents trauma-induced psychosis, taken to its most extreme conclusion. A being whose childhood abuse created not just psychological scars, but evolutionary-level hatred for humanity itself. Her diclonious nature gives physical form to her mental fractures through invisible hands that dismember anyone who triggers her psychological breaks. The truly disturbing aspect of her psychosis isn't the violence. It's how her fractured mind alternates between the innocent Nayu personality and the genocidal Lucy without any middle ground. Her childhood experiences at the research facility didn't just traumatize her, they convinced her that humans are fundamentally evil and deserve extinction. This isn't typical villain motivation. It's the logical endpoint of a mind that's been so thoroughly broken that genocide becomes self-defense. Her relationship with Cletus serves as the only anchor preventing complete psychological dissolution, but even that connection is poisoned by her compulsive need to hurt the thing she loves most. Lucy's psychosis is cyclical. Trauma creates violence. Violence creates guilt. Guilt creates more trauma. Art the Clown strips away every pretense of humanity and presents psychosis in its purest, most primal form, a silent force of malevolent chaos that exists solely to inflict suffering. His muteness makes him even more unsettling because we never get the traditional villain monologue explaining his motivations. There are no motivations. Art doesn't kill because he's angry or traumatized or seeking revenge. He kills because causing pain is his natural state of being, like breathing or blinking. His clown persona isn't a disguise. It's the perfect expression of his psychosis, turning childhood symbols of joy into instruments of terror. Watch his body language during his murders. There's a theatrical quality that suggests he views each killing as performance art. He doesn't just want his victims dead, he wants them to experience maximum psychological terror before they die. His immortal nature removes any possibility of reasoning with him or finding common ground. Art represents the nightmare scenario, a psychotic mind unbound by human limitations, existing purely to transform others' lives into horror movies. Cletus Kasady. Cletus Kasady was already a textbook psychopath before bonding with an alien symbiote. The Carnage symbiote just gave his mental illness cosmic-level amplification. His psychosis isn't random violence. It's philosophical chaos made manifest. Where other killers have patterns or preferences, Kasady embraces pure unpredictability as an art form. The symbiote doesn't control him. It enhances his existing pathology by removing physical limitations and moral inhibitions he never possessed anyway. His famous quote about chaos being the one true constant reveals the core of his fractured worldview. He genuinely believes that murder and mayhem are more honest than civilization's pretense of order. What makes Carnage particularly disturbing is how the symbiotic relationship works both ways. The alien feeds on his psychotic energy while amplifying it, creating a feedback loop of escalating violence. Unlike Venom's occasional attempts at heroism, Carnage represents symbiosis with pure malevolence. Kasady found the perfect partner for his mental illness, an alien that shares his appetite for destruction and lacks any moral compass to provide balance.